Hey everybody, and welcome to this special on Mars transiting in Gemini. So Mars enters Gemini this year on the 21st of January at 5:35 a.m. until the 24th of February, when Mars goes direct while still out of bounds. So when Mars enters Gemini this year, it's retrograde and out of bounds. Then it goes direct, but it still stays out of bounds. And I'm going to explain what all of this means, so bear with me. Mars then enters Cancer on the 2nd of April while still out of bounds until the 7th of April when Mars leaves out of bounds in Cancer, and then Mars stays out of bounds in Cancer right up until the 6th of June when it moves into Leo. I'm Amani. I'm a karmic, holistic, astrological life coach, and I like to go in depth in all that I do, and all of my interpretations, especially when it comes to Venus, Mercury, Sun transits and everything really, are based on Vedic astrology, which is based on where the planets or the luminaries, which are the Sun and the Moon, are any given time in the sky, and all times are in GMT time as well. So yeah, thanks for listening. And yeah, so in this I'm just going to focus on Mars retrograde in Gemini, Mars retrograde and out of bounds in Gemini, and then Mars in Gemini direct, what it means, looking at all the different angles, how it affects our relationships. So now I'm going to just give the summary version for the next 3 to 5 minutes, and then if you want to listen on to the longer version, then you're welcome, and where I'll be looking at how Mars in Gemini affects our relationships, the karma of it, looking at the karma of Mars in Gemini, how it affects our spiritual and personal development, the mythology, and just a lot, looking at it from every angle. So yeah, so Mars retrograde in Gemini, when out of bounds as well, brings a blend of like self-reflection and innovation, and it can impact our communication and decision-making processes. Positively, it allows us to reassess, because remember, Mars is in retrograde as well as being out of bounds, so it allows us to reflect on how we express ourselves, and we can find ourselves revisiting past conversations and projects, allowing ourselves to refine, change our ideas, and clarify our intentions and goals. So if we think of it as a sort of tidying up of our mental workspace and our psychological and emotional sort of like feelings, clearing out the clutter, the mess, and making room for fresh insights and creative breakthroughs. Basically, the out of bounds element means that unexpected things can happen, unconventional, untraditional, things that go against your normal day-to-day routine, relationships, ways of thinking. If you feel like you've been blocked creatively, this energy can encourage you to think outside of the box, whether it's through writing, teaching, or engaging in lively discussions. You can discover new ways to articulate your thoughts and have meaningful connections with others, and just reconnect with people. And you can just find this rewarding right now. Conversations can flow more easily, and this can help you to have a deeper understanding and teamwork and working with others. It's excellent energy to help you reach out to old friends and colleagues and just restart intellectual curiosity. A lot of the time we can get older and just not want to learn new things. This energy can inspire us to learn new things, get outside of our routine, but we just need to watch out for impulsive reactions of our own and others. People can just say things that don't mean, just be impulsive, hasty, nasty in the way they express their thoughts and actions right now, and this can add to misunderstandings. So it's important to think before we act and speak, especially when things are heated. You're having difficult discussions maybe about household budgets, or someone's cheated or something like that. So just try and be mindful. I know we can be angry when we feel betrayed and stuff, but also just try and be as respectful as you can, while also maintaining your integrity and assertiveness and the naturalness of how you're feeling as well. We can also overthink. We can get ourselves caught in a loop of overthinking, so we just need to try and ground ourselves ourselves, journaling, voice recording our feelings, or talking things out with a trusted friend, lover or family member, This energy is very emotional. It can feel like a double-edged sword, as it brings our underlying, our truthful emotions, the things we've been hiding to the surface, especially in our communication right now as well. People can just bring up past grievances. Oh, you cheated on me, you did this 20 years ago and all of that. Or we can just be feeling insecure inside ourselves, and just take it out on the people closest to us or others. And we just have to try and be curious about these feelings, have more compassion for, our aggressiveness and emotionality at this time as well. So the best use of this energy is to use it to reflect, asking yourself, how can self-reflection lead to you knowing yourself and others better? Use this time to think about your communication patterns, what works, what doesn't work, explore new ideas, and allow yourself to express it through experimenting with art, writing, or even social media. Be open and honest in your conversation, and reach out to others, share thoughts and feedback. And this can help you with teamwork in projects and deepen your connections with others as well. So ultimately, when Mars is out of bounds in Gemini, it's a time to refine, change the way we communicate with ourselves and others. A lot of the time, the thoughts we allow in our minds can stop us from making the necessary changes that we can do to make ourselves happier, It's a time for us to connect and innovate, to change. So on the deeper level, there are like three energies at play. And when Mars enters Gemini this year, it's, Mars in Gemini represents us being more cerebral, logic, thinking before we do things and say things, Mars is the planet of motivation. All our motivational drives are exercise, sex, career, everything, how we assert ourselves, encourages us to express our desires through words, ideas, and social conversations and relationships. It's like a burst of energy that's perfect for networking, brainstorming, planning, and engaging in lively debates, But again, it can make it hard for us to focus because of Gemini's dual nature, always seeing each side of the argument has its ups and downs, we can have impulsive thoughts and decisions. When Mars is out of bounds, then it just behaves like it's on a wild adventure. Its energy is more increased, more adventurous, more impulsive, more wanting us to break free from boundaries and explore new ideas and take risks we wouldn't normally do. But this can lead to erratic behaviour, add to the conflicts of Mars energy anyway, and we can just feel less relevant now. We may not check our behaviour. It wants us to vibe with being more creative, but being mindful of how our actions and words affect others and ourselves as well. And retrograde wants us to slow down, as I said, instead of charging ahead, and the out of bounds wants us to be like, whoa, let's go. So we just can feel kind of conflicted, pulled in different directions, right? And this can lead to us feeling frustrated by delays. So what I say, go with your energy, because you may have been born when Mars was in retrograde and out of bounds. So this can just be your chance to level up and just go with this energy and, use it to set intentions and do things that align with your true desires and values. And remember, it's not about giving up, but rethinking your approach, changing your routine, rethinking what you want to do. So all of these energies together wants us to be more mentally flexible, represented by the Gemini energy. Push our boundaries, get outside of our comfort zone, which is represented by the out of bounds energy, and to self-reflect, think about what we do before we do it, which is represented by the retrograde energy, right? So yeah, it wants us to ground ourselves and vibe with the chaos, and, do all we can to find clarity and purpose. So that's the end of the summary version of what to do when Mars is transiting in Gemini, out of bounds and in retrograde, as it does this year. It doesn't do that every year. Sometimes it just goes into Gemini. So now I'm just going to talk about the energy of just Mars being in Gemini, looking at it from all angles and talking a bit more about the astrological meanings, the practical, political, social, psychological meanings of transiting Mars in Gemini. If you want to listen on to the in-depth version, carry on. So Gemini embodies duality in astrology, and it's ruled by the planet Mercury and symbolises the twins, so our dual nature, right, our strengths and our weaknesses, the good and the bad in us. It wants us to see both sides of every situation, knowing that there's always at least two sides to every argument, every situation, every experience, you know, and it's about being flexible and open to change and communicating effectively. And this sort of like duality teaches us that life is full of contradictions and paradoxes, and using them and vibing with them can lead to deeper understanding and harmony. And when Mars is in Gemini, it allows us to increase our intellectual energy, sharpen our communication skills. We can feel more inspired to speak up more assertively, act quickly on our ideas and engage in lively debates. It can be like having a mental turbo boost. Holistically, it invites a thirst for knowledge and a desire to explore different subjects, different sort of hobbies, ways of communication and other things with more enthusiasm for the new, and we can just find ourselves juggling multiple tasks, adapting swiftly to new information and expressing our thoughts with new clarity. And it can just sort of like supercharge our creativity, especially if you work in the creative field, and help you generate innovative ideas at lightning speed. And working with colleagues and others can just feel more stimulating and productive right now. And brainstorming sessions can become more electric and inspiring. And although everything may not be smooth sailing right now, Mars in Gemini can, stir up feelings of restlessness and impatience, and we can feel the push to stay constantly busy or seek out new challenges to satisfy our craving for mental stimulation. So the key here is to channel this energy productively, avoid spreading ourselves too thin by taking on too many tasks at once, and focus on what truly excites you and allows you to grow and thrive. So, think about how you can use this dynamic energy for the best to explore new ideas and deepen your understanding with the world around you. So practically, it wants us to express ourselves clearly, stay open to new ideas, adapt, to change quickly, and, channel our restlessness, because sometimes we can want to do a million things at once. So sometimes some tasks we can do, but the best use of this energy is to use it productively on things that bring tangible results, like changing your exercise, eating, relationship routine, upgrading your career skills, your educational skills, learning a new hobby. Gemini's flexible nature in Mars is our secret weapon. It can help us switch up and adjust with ease, making us masters of thinking on our feet, and just being able to overcome obstacles and feeling motivated to do new things. But we just need to watch out for that restless vibe that can scatter our focus if we're not careful, and just, set goals to avoid feeling scattered, using this energy to tackle new projects, staying curious and open-minded, and just practice actively listening to each other, and really, as I said, focusing on ways and finding ways to channel any restlessness, upset, mental overthinking into increased productivity and growth. So even if it's looking into techniques to reduce your overthinking, that's more productive than getting lost in it. So on a worldly materialistic level, it turbo charges our brain, as I said, increasing our ability to think more logically, strategically, and to deal with the problems that come up by using our minds. It encourages us to lean on to use logic and reason. So it's great for all sort of work and hobbies that need you to use decision making and planning. It kind of allows us to be more focused and innovative in finding solutions to our problems and challenges. It wants us to use reasoning and logical decision making to guide us through complex situations, and it can just make our conversations more thought provoking, and we can just be more focused on opportunities for growth, and finding those solutions and digging deep into intellectual research and plans, whether it be reading, writing, debating, and we can just really be happy talking about the things that allow us to challenge our views and deepen, level up our understanding and stuff. So the best use of this energy is to seek out discussions that expand your thinking, mix with people that inspire you or can inspire you. Be curious, especially in your research, making sure you research things from both sides, because Gemini energy is dual energy, as I said, looking at things from different angles, and just allowing your reason, logic to guide your decisions, not neglecting the intuition, but, filtering it through your logic, which I found helpful. Sometimes there's a place for intuition, and other time you have to be more logical about things. For instance, in a relationship choice, yes, we may love someone and we can be cold. It could be a cold intellectual thing to say this, but if we love someone but they keep on hurting us, and we want a better life for ourselves, but they keep on making us mess up our life goals and become too destructive, we may have to use our logic to stop us from being with that person. Although our intuition and our heart may say yes, we have to sometimes make them cold decisions, and I know it's like a grey area. And I say, we have to make our own decisions, but we have to stay open to new ideas and perspectives. Politically, encourages us to stand up for our beliefs, and, it can increase heated debates and discussions, and we can just be more passionate and animated about things, and it can just increase our assertiveness and expressing our opinions to people, and we can just feel more empowered to talk, as Rihanna sings, just speak our thoughts more courageously, and, just be more open to finding middle ground and resolving conflict as well, which is really good, and be open to giving and taking, not having it your way, not giving it to others their way, but making a mutual solution. And we can just, it's a good energy to, speak up for those who can't speak up for themselves, and we are just more open to seeking resolutions to our problems through honest conversation. So it's important to stay open to different viewpoints, find common ground, and, try to resolve conflicts with the mindset of teamwork, Psychologically, it wants us to rethink how we communicate, because this energy really pushes us into taking a good look at our communication habits, and we can really ask ourselves about how we express ourselves. Do we come across too strong, or perhaps not strong enough? Are we empowered in our communication style? It's a perfect energy to, change, fine tune, level up our communication style, and let go of any unhelpful communicating or thinking patterns as well, or starting and continuing the work, because remember, change is a journey, it's not a destination. And expect a bit of unpredictability. We may have bursts of energy that are tricky to use, and this can lead to some frustration, and it can just lead to a tug of war between our desires and thoughts, what we want to do, what we need to do, like stick to our routine, right, and our commitments, and we can just feel more mentally scattered, and we may be really gearing up, wanting to make those changes in our life, wanting to start that new project, but just feeling mentally scattered. Our energy can be hard to control, especially in our thoughts right now. So we just have to try and come up with strategies to channel this energy productively, and facing issues with anger and assertiveness as well. this means we can just overthink our feelings right now instead of expressing them. And, people can pick up on this, so we may not want to say. And when people say if something's wrong, we'll be like, no, others can be like that. So we have to acknowledge our emotions and find a way to let them out safely. Some of you may have to voice note instead of speaking verbally to someone. Consider journaling your feelings, and just, do your best to work through any trust issues within yourself or with others as well. And, as I said, it can just really encourages us to think outside of the box, be creative, and we can just find unconventional solutions popping into our head. And it's a great energy for brainstorming, trying new hobbies, as I said, and also trying to relax and let the answers come to you rather than chasing those answers, Also, you may feel drawn to reconnecting with old friends or revisiting past conversations, and we just have to be mindful of how we assert ourselves in these conversations, as misunderstandings can come up, and we just have to make it clear that communication is key. Spiritually and esoterically, it wants us to explore fresh ideas and engage in conversations that truly matter, and it's a perfect time to look into philosophical topics or try out meditation practices that resonate with our beliefs. Think of it as a chance to feed the soul with knowledge that inspires you, and it pushes you to just express yourself in innovative ways, and allow your ideas to flow freely without fear, and allow your creativity to shine. And as I said, you may find yourself wanting to do too much, socialise more, and this can lead to burnout, so you just have to try and prioritise right now. This is really important to use this energy of Mars in Gemini more effectively. Emotionally, as I said, it can make us more excited about life and curious, and it wants us to be do spiritual practices that resonate with our core values. So now I'm going to talk about the aspects that Mars makes when it goes into Gemini, and remember, this energy is going to last us the whole time. Mars is in Gemini this year, which is quite a while, So just over 2 months and about 3 weeks, something like that. So the moon makes a square to Mars, so this really sparks our emotional drive, so we can be really emotional right now. It adds to us wanting to assert our needs and desires and be the main character, but negatively can make us moody and lead to emotional outbursts and add to the conflicts I was talking about. So the best use of this is to find productive ways to let out your feelings and emotions. Try and do physical exercise or be creative, and think of it as transforming our fiery energy into something productive. The sun makes an opposition to Mars, so this encourages us to stand up for ourselves, and we can feel an increase of confidence, and this can push us to go after our goals with determination. But negatively, it can lead to power struggles and confrontations. So the best use of this energy is to be clear on what we want and our goals, and take small daily steps towards meeting our goals rather than doing too much and burning ourselves out. Avoid power struggles as well, and just think about how you talk, as I said, because this energy can make us extra aggressive. Or there's 2.5 months Mars is in Gemini, and there's a lot going on with this show with retrograde and out of bounds as well, and these aspects too. So Mercury is also in opposition to Mars, so another hard aspect that can make us kind of speak our mind too much without thinking about the consequences, like a firecracker ready to pop. We can just be on edge, and this can add to the debates and overthinking as well. So we just have to make sure we take time out, think before we speak and all of that, to avoid conflict, finding the balance between respecting others' boundaries and asserting our wishes. Venus makes a trine to Mars as well, so this allows us with being romantic and open and finding balance, but we just need to watch out for becoming overly indulgent, seeking validation through others, and just keep an eye on the tendencies to just not love on yourself and seeking the things in products, services and relationships that can only be found within us. Using this energy to tighten our bonds and plan a special day or creative teamwork session that brings you joy, or just do something nice for yourself as well. Have a date night with yourself if you are single. A lot of the time we can make it boring because we don't love on ourselves, when we are single. So Mars is sextile to Uranus, brings that, ability, adds to us being able to break free from routine, think outside of the box. It's like a breath of fresh air, giving us inspiration, and allows us to be spontaneous and find our creativity flow, and look at problems differently and find solutions to our problem. Mars also makes a trine to Neptune, so this allows us to connect to our dreams and goals, and it can be like tapping into a wellspring of inspiration. But negatively, we can escape and overindulge in sex and alcohol and toxic behaviours, getting lost in fantasies rather than taking action and staying grounded in reality. The best use of this energy is to use it for reflection and creative expression, and to look into what truly resonates with your soul. Mars is sextile to the ascendant can tighten our awareness, regarding how you present yourself to the world. You may gain insights into your personal image, or you may have misinterpretations of your own and other people's attention, and this can lead to misunderstanding. So it's important for you to be clearer in your communication and be mindful of how your actions can be perceived by others, and to strive for being more authentic in your conversations. And it's all about being true to yourself, So also when Mars goes into Gemini this year, there's a mutable and cardinal T-square between, the first one is Mars in Gemini, the Moon in Libra, and Mercury in Sagittarius. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about what a T-square is in astrology, and the positives and negatives of a transiting T-square. So a T-square in astrology is when 3 or more planets. Normally some people count points. I will only count a point such as the moon's north node if it was like conjunct a planet like Venus at the same degree, something like that in a T-square. I wouldn't necessarily include it on its own. So a T-square is when 3 or more planets form a right-angled triangle in the transit chart, and this configuration involves 2 planets being involved each other, creating tension, and a third planet squares both of the opposing planets, and this is why it's called like a T-square, because it looks like a T. And the positives of a transiting T-square include increased motivation for growth and change, opportunities for self-awareness and transformation, and the potential for breakthroughs in difficult situations. It can act as a catalyst for personal development and push us outside of our comfort zones. Negatively, we can struggle with decision making due to the conflicting energies. We can experience a heightened emotional intensity, leading to stress or anxiety and challenges in communication and our relationships. And it can also kind of bring eternal conflict to some of us as well, because of the external obstacles that come, or the internal thoughts of unresolved psychological, emotional and spiritual trauma that can come up. And dealing with these issues internally or externally that come up can require patience and resilience to overcome. So this again allows us to nurture ourselves and to bring harmony and balance and be protective over others as well. Mercury in Sagittarius wants us to be optimistic and expressive in our the ways we talk and act right now, but this can clash for our need for independence and our need for having harmony with others as well. So this energy motivates us to communicate our feelings more openly, and this is good. We need to be motivated to have those breakthroughs in our relationships, but the push and pull can lead to misunderstandings, and we can feel like our needs are being overlooked. The best use of this energy is to express our feelings constructively, do creative writing and do things that promote understanding rather than defensiveness. There is also T-square with the moon in Gemini, Mercury in Sagittarius, and Chiron in Pisces. So this allows us to heal our problems as well, but it can amplify, increase our sensitivity. But it allows us to process our emotions, as I said, deal with and confront our past emotional, spiritual, and psychological wounds. But negatively, we can be overly emotionally intense right now, and we can just sort of like want to escape and feel overwhelmed by the feelings that we can find hard to express right now. We can just be overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, all these emotions, what to do? So the best use of this, if, like I said, if you feel overwhelmed, is to journal, is to take time out to do Tai Chi, yoga, or anything that stills you down, in healthy ways and stuff like that. And, do our best to stay grounded, and remember that there's a time for growth and understanding, both personally in your relationships, and some of you may want to rush ahead, like I said, but because Mars is out of bounds and in retrograde, so it's like a really double pull, like retrograde wants us to slow down, Mars out of bounds wants us to speed up, so we've got a lot to contend with, and then all the other planetary movements as well. So yeah, the best thing to do is to go with your own vibe and do the things to nurture yourself to avoid burnout. So now I'm going to talk about the karma in general of Mars in Gemini. So in terms of the karmic lessons, the key lesson is about how we express ourselves. We can find ourselves reflecting on past conversations and the impact of our words, asking ourselves, are we being true to ourselves? And it wants us to break free from our old habits of communication. Gemini's dual nature reminds us of our choices, and, the fight between our strengths and weaknesses and good and bad, and the fact that what's bad for someone else can be good for us and all the rest of it. It wants us to confront decisions that have been sort of like left unresolved, so this is why you can just find yourself bringing up the past, or someone bringing up the past, and it can be hard, but it just wants you to resolve it once and for all. And this is how we can truly move on. A lot of the time we cannot deal with things but a lot of the times these emotions build up like a pressure cooker in us, and it just explodes out in crazy ways that can threaten our own sanity and our relationships sometimes, So it's best to take a holistic approach to your daily healing and needs and routine, and look after yourself on emotional, physical and spiritual and psychological levels constantly, allowing yourself to be curious, which Mars in Gemini wants you to have a thirst for knowledge, doing new things, and to work on your continuous lifetime growth, and explore new ideas and revisit old ones that resonate with you on the spiritual, intellectual levels. And it wants you to just think about patterns from past lives or past behaviours that are affecting current friendships and relationships, and it wants us to release toxic connections and vibe with those thoughts and feelings and people that uplift you, In terms of past life memories and dreams, we can have situations where communication has broken down or where you felt unheard. These dreams can serve as reminders to address similar issues in your current life, and it brings about lessons in us being adaptable, and reflecting on how we handle these situations can provide valuable insights into our current challenges, and we can encounter dreams that explore different aspects of our identity, highlighting the duality of our nature, and this can be a powerful opportunity to integrate these experiences into our current selves, and who we are right now. Collectively, it wants us to think about, and it can bring challenges to how we communicate and listen and respond, and it just, really shows us the need for us to be more open in our conversations and talking about the pressing issues that we hide from, but make us, go into our drugs and alcohol and overindulge in intoxicating substances that are not good for us, Of course, sometimes we need substances like cannabis for pain and stuff, but sometimes we can overuse these things as well. So just thinking about our cultural beliefs as well, and thinking about how our cultures and childhood and past experiences have shaped our identities, and just thinking about, our good inherited beliefs and their experience in our current life and the bad ones. How can we just become more in balance and take more responsibility for what we think, and allowing ourselves to be who we are and think how we want to, but respecting that other people can do that and it's their right to do that as well, while also respecting other people's boundaries and not doing no harm to them as well. It encourages us to share our stories and connect with others, and this can lead to us learning from each other's experiences and healing together as a unit. So now I'm going to talk about how Mars in Gemini can affect our relationships. So in terms of our family relationships, it can be easier for us to express our thoughts and feelings right now and be more open and understand each other's opinions and perspectives, and it can also make us sort of like more curious and explore new ideas and hobbies as a family as well, and create a sense of unity and shared experiences. Negatively, it can lead to misunderstandings, and this can lead to unnecessary tension and misinterpret and misunderstand other people's intentions, and we can just feel stagnant right now, restless. We can become bored, and this can lead to impulsive decisions and behaviours that kind of like get in the way of us, working in harmony with our family and cause problems, so we just need to watch out for that and make sure we find that middle ground. In friendships, again, it's a good time to connect and socialise and work with others, and doing so can strengthen our relationships right now. We can be more creative and stimulated by discussions that focus on new solutions to our problems, and this can deepen our connections, but we can never scatter focus, and we can promise our friends a lot and break our promises and struggle to maintain attention on one topic or plan, and this can lead to us feeling overwhelmed or just too stressed out. You can want to chill and your friend just wants to chat. This can lead to tensions and debates, and this can just add to arguments, so it's important to approach sensitive topics with care to avoid unnecessary conflict. Yes, you may not agree with certain things, but there are ways of going about this, expressing what you feel in safe and honourable sort of like ways that respect everybody's involved boundaries, So in terms of co-worker relationships, it's great for teamworking and networking as well, but negatively we can be impulsive in our decisions and it can just lead to miscommunication again. In terms of committed relationships, it's good energy to focus on talking about intimacy, having deeper conversations. You can feel more close and understand each other and engage in activities together, and this can create a sense of togetherness and adventure and excitement in the relationship. But again, overthinking and being restless can add to the problems in relationships, leading to doubts and insecurities, and this can disrupt stability because of impulsive words and actions as well, and things just feeling like, it's just routine, and someone wants to break the routine and get out of the comfort zone, and someone may not want to do that. So this can add to the tension, to try and find that middle ground, which is the key word of Mars in Gemini. Not doing it too much, but doing it halfway, in terms of, finding that balance. Hookup relationships, they can become more spontaneous, and we can just feel open to new experiences and have more fun and flirtation in them as well. And it's a great energy to have light-hearted connections without heavy commitments, but miscommunication can lead to hurt feelings, so just make sure you're clear. If it's a hookup, don't promise commitment, and if someone's telling you it's just a hookup, don't seek commitment, and it wants us to sort of like be honest, and this energy can just make it hard for some of you, especially those with a lot of third house Gemini, maybe ninth house Sagittarius energy, to focus on one connection. Self-partnered people should use this energy for self-discovery and to socialize more and meet new people as well, especially if you are single, but negatively, restlessness and overthinking about going after new connections can get in the way, and over analysing dating experiences and rushing into relationships without thinking about them properly, and this can lead to impulsive decisions in dating. So yeah, just watch out for that. Make sure that you're honest with yourself, nurture that relationship with yourself. Remember, being single doesn't mean you can't love on yourself and give yourself the validation that you need. So now I'm just going to talk about how Mars in Gemini affects our career, spiritual and educational and personal development. So in terms of career development, it increases our communication skills, great for networking and problem solving. It's great for, negotiations, presentations, thinking outside of the box, and just working with others. But negatively, again, impulsive decision making can get in the way, so take a breath before jumping in. Miscommunication and scattered focus can lead to you struggling to concentrate on one thing at a time, leading to 1,000,001 unfinished projects and this can just lead to a sense of overwhelming. Just remember, anything that you do, if you think it's going to take you a year, it's probably going to take you 4. Prioritize, give yourself that space and room to do things properly, steadily. In terms of personal development, it can make us more curious, more engaged socially and flexible. It's a good energy to do what incites you, and it can just increase your flexibility as well, and it wants you to go with the flow. But negatively, it can lead to overthinking, restlessness and scattered energy, making you waste the energy of Mars in Gemini that wants you to, take on new things, learn new things, but make sure you follow through. And it's better to do 2 to 3 things than say 20 things at once. In terms of spiritual development, it wants us to explore new beliefs, have more meaningful conversations, have more of a curiosity for inner growth, be more mindful, meditate and do things that nurture your higher consciousness and spiritual, and that truly resonates with your needs, your spiritual development needs, and just open up your understanding of the world and research different spiritual practices and viewpoints. But negatively, it can lead to confusion in beliefs, because we can just be fast-pacedly researching things, and this can lead to uncertainty in our spiritual path. So make sure you take our time to reflect. Yes, question your beliefs, but don't be too rushed to change them. Take time out, be gentle with yourself. You can be restless in your practice right now, and you may feel the push to do too many spiritual techniques at once. We've all been there without fully committing to any. Yes, research, but remember, there comes a point when you have to pick, few techniques so that you can gain depth and understanding in your practice. Spiritually, we can overanalyze our experiences, because we can overthink, and this can get in the way of our spiritual growth, making it difficult to trust our intuition or our experiences. So we just need to remember to let go and flow, And in terms of our educational development, it can increase our motivation to learn, taking up new courses and workshops, and inquire new knowledge and engage in discussions that stimulate us and our understanding of different subjects, and share our ideas and our research and grow, and just take creative approaches to learning as well. So working in study groups, doing mind maps, working in time blocks, different things like that. Spicing up how you learned, making it more interesting for you. But negatively, we can have scattered focus in our studies, doing too much, making it challenging to focus on one subject due to the double nature of Gemini energy, and this can lead to us not completing projects and assignments. So we have to stay organized, and being organized means different things to different people. So find your niche, find your flow. We can also be impulsive in selecting courses, just doing too much and not fully considering the relevance to our long-term goals, and this can lead to dissatisfaction. So we need to choose wisely, and we can have misunderstandings and miscommunications with those who are trying to teach us. So clarify and communicate, and don't be scared to say, I don't know this, can you teach it to me in a different way? Or find out different sources that can help you learn things in different ways as well. So now I'm going to talk about the best thing things for creatives, professionals, entrepreneurs, alternative healers, lovers, singles and self-partnered people to do when Mars is in Gemini. So creatives, it wants us to experiment, to work with others, let your imagination run wild. Don't be afraid to break the rules. Professionals, network with others, build valuable relationships, repair valuable relationships, attend events on and offline, connect with others in forums, LinkedIn, stuff like that, pitch new ideas, especially those to do with communication, present your ideas with confidence, and allow your words to resonate with your true opinions, and it allows you to sort of like shine right now this energy in being new, being out there, thinking outside of the box, not too much out of the box, but just spicing up even the driest accounting or technological talks. Entrepreneurs should do market research and launch new initiatives. And if you have been sitting on a project or you've stopped a project, this may be time to start it or restart it, and just really do market research with your audience or your potential audience so you can tailor your content or your products to meet their needs. Alternative healers should experiment with different healing techniques and be more curious and open to new ideas and modalities, and host workshops on and offline, or just share your knowledge with others through content classes or group sessions, and just engage with your community. Lovers should use this time to have meaningful discussions and explore each other's thoughts and feelings to strengthen your bond and try new things together, and to stimulate and bring more excitement into your relationship. And singles should expand your social circle, meet new people and be spontaneous and vibe with unexpected encounters and adventures, and be more playful and enjoy new experiences. Those who are in self-partnership should take time out to explore your interests and passions. Journaling can be really good for you right now, or any form of creative expression, and just set or reset your personal goals and clarify what you want to achieve. Write them down, and think about the daily steps that you need to take to help you reach your goals, So now I'm just going to talk about the sort of like holistic, emotional, spiritual and psychological development rituals that you can do when Mars is in Gemini to help you. So as I said, you can use mindful communication practices such as journaling, actively listening. This is the goal of communication, is to understand the other person, and you can reflect back on what you hear to ensure clarity and strengthen your connection. And it takes practice. Search out tools to help you actively listen to yourself and others, because your own thoughts, actively listening to them, can make you see for the most part how necessary it can be to like work on your watching your thoughts and stuff, because it can be crazy up there, without your kind of like awareness. This is why self-awareness is important. Guided meditations can help you right now, so can visualization, such of if you feel like you're not confident in speaking, you can visualize yourself expressing your thoughts with confidence and ease. And why this alone won't help, dealing with your unresolved psychological, emotional, spiritual issues, and doing that shadow work and coming to love and understand yourself is important, but visualization is an important tool, seeing yourself doing what you want to be doing. And breath working can really help you as well right now. Creative expression is good, as I said, doing things like painting, writing, dancing, gaming, crafting, can allow your imagination to flow freely, distract yourself, and allow your innermost thoughts and feelings to come to the surface. Public speaking is really good right now. Practice in front of friends, family, or even the mirror, exploring new ideas, joining book clubs or discussion groups on or offline. Doing a new online course, is a great way to learn and grow at this time. Spiritual practices such as affirmations, repeating them daily, to reinforce your positive beliefs about your communication and creativity can be really good. Allowing yourself to do rituals to bring more clarity, clear thinking into your life, such as lighting a candle and spending a few moments in a quiet candlelit room in quiet reflection and asking for guidance in expressing your thoughts from your higher self, your higher power, or finding any ritual that can help you find more clearer thinking, in a healthy way. Emotional release techniques such as dancing, yoga, tai chi, stretching can help you release pent up energy and emotions and connect with your body and mind and higher consciousness and help you express yourself more freely over time. Techniques such as sound healing, listening to music at certain frequencies, using sound bowls, chimes, or even your own voice, singing to yourself can, create vibrations that help you resonate with your emotional state. Listening to music as well can also help you release tension and promote emotional healing. Connecting with nature through spending times outdoors, soaking in the beauty around you, using this time to reflect on your thoughts and feelings, allowing nature to inspire you and finding peace and clear thinking within yourself. And this can be really, really, really great. Well, it can be cold outside in some places, so you may just want to watch nature on your screen, Gardening indoors, outdoors can be really good, planting herbs and flowers, and it encourages your growth and helps you with your growth, engaging in voluntary work and getting involved in social gatherings and creating or being part of a supportive network is great for sharing ideas and experiences and just having a different perspective, helping you create a sense of connection and purpose and increasing your emotional well-being, So ultimately, when Mars is in Gemini, it can lead to growth on all levels, and all you have to do is think about the best way to channel this vibrant dual energy into your life and help yourself, do the daily routines that are going to help you live with more intention and reach your goals, and using your logical reasoning skills to help you lead that better life, but also working with your intuition as well and finding that balance, So yeah, I'm Amani, your holistic astrological karmic life coach. Take care and see you next time.